wasting any time. There are fourfold practices. There is a fourfold practices that makes you a seeker of meditation. So how should we understand? So when we are a seeker of meditation, following these small practices, we always succeed. It's a foolproof plan. As David, do his business, he has a foolproof plan. This much I will get it. This is the projection. So the same thing happens in the journey of meditation. We are told by the wise people, think before we act. Contemplate before we act. We should be clear. For a desired result. That is the way the human race works. Similarly, we have 4 connections that must be made clear before treading the path of mindfulness or meditation. So, for example, what is the subject matter? What is the subject? I should be very clear about the subject matter. First thing, to whom this subject matter meant for? To whom? For a seeker, for a qualified seeker, for a qualified student. I gave an example before. A teacher writes the capital H. What is this in a chemistry class? And the person says, this is alphabet. Then he is not qualified. And the other student says it is hydrogen. So at least he has some understanding about his own mind, the way the mind is wandering, the understanding, the functioning of the mind. Then he can become a qualified student. It's so clear. So first is the subject matter. Second is that I should be qualified. What we say in that there should be there should be an orientation. The first class is about orientation. The third is the most important thing. That after having the subject matter, I'm a qualified seeker, then what result I should be expecting? What result? So the Master says the ultimate result is the end of suffering from the life. These are the 3 points. I talked about the 4 connections. So how this knowledge of the subject matter is connected to the result. Did you get it? How this project is connected to a result of earning $1 million, for example. The same thing. I should be very clear about the subject matter. I should check. Do I really qualify to undergo that subject matter? And the result should be kept in mind, that I should bring an end to the suffering. Relaxation, calmness, peace are the byproducts of meditation or mindfulness. Getting rid of loneliness, isolation during this corona time, these are the byproducts. These are not the end result. The ultimate result is the end of suffering. Clear. Now the Master teaches in almost every text. They have a very, I would say, the hidden word. For example, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the first sutra is Atha Yoganushashanam. So the word Ath means, Patanjali says as a teacher, now because you are qualified student, that means the word Ath. Now you are a qualified seeker, so let me teach you what meditation is. So not in every text it is explained in detail. Now coming there, how to become a qualified seeker. It will blow your mind and it will open up your mind also. So don't accept it. Think it over. So how to become a qualified student? So there are 9 primary practices. They are known as knowledge practice. 3 hidden practices. And then we have secondary practices. Secondary means you can use them if there is some challenges, or you should not use them. So let us understand. So what happens if the mind is not clear about these 4 connections, and it is not clear whether I am a qualified seeker on the path of meditation or not, then what happens? The great master Ramakrishna Paramhans used to narrate a story that 2 people were sitting and chatting together, and the first person says to the second, "Oh, there is a fire in the neighborhood," and at least all the people were saved. The second person stood up, picked the newspaper, and just turned all the pages. He did not find any news of the fire in the neighborhood. And he said, "I don't believe you. Come on, the news of the fire broke just now, and you are reading the newspaper to find out, to have a proof if the fire broke in the neighborhood." You see, he is explaining the way our mind works with the wrong notion. It happens at every moment, at the workplace, in our relationship with our family. It happens every time in our mind. It happens every time. Just 3 days ago, a guy contacted me from Ireland. He wanted to do something with these mindfulness journey after listening to these talks and the practices. So he said, let us fix the time 12 p.m. MST, Arizona, Phoenix time. I made it very clear. But he wrote me back that he waited for me for 1 hour because he had a wrong notion that 5 GMT is 12 p.m. Arizona time. He started arguing. I said, no need not to argue. Let us fix it again. It happened on the LinkedIn. Second time again, he had a preconceived notion in his mind that it is 6 GMT is equal to 12 p.m. Arizona time. And again we missed. But he blamed me that I waited for you for 2 hours. Yesterday again, it was 2 p.m. and he sent a message on the LinkedIn that now I think that you have 3 p.m. time. I said, I'm living in Arizona, my friend. It is 2 p.m. I rechecked my PC. I rechecked my watch. It is 2 p.m. Wrong notion. This is how we work in our daily life. No, I know you for the last 10 years and you have been treating me like this. No, No, it will not work. So what are those 9 qualifications? So first let us understand the hidden practices. I told you there are 9 practices, primary. They have to be kept in the mind. If you don't keep in the mind, you are surrounded by the wrong notion, the wrong thinking about yourself, about others, then meditation doesn't succeed at all. It may lead you to a little bit of relaxation or calmness. That may be possible. But it will not help you to reach to that state. So what are those? What are those hidden practices first? That is what the master always used to say, that Shravan, listening and learning these principles again and again, which helps you to remove the wrong notion about the life, the purpose of the life. So why I said it is hidden? Because we say we are attending a class, but we don't pay attention to those principles. Oh, let us wait. This guy continues speaking. Let us wait for the practice. Do the practice and say him thank you and gone. The mind continues to live with that wrong notion. So we have to maintain our awareness and attention. Shravanam, thinking of those principles is important. At the same time, karma yoga. We say, what is karma yoga? I will clean your studio. That is karma yoga. That has nothing to do with the karma yoga. Karma yoga means that internally, now I know how to perform my daily actions in personal, professional, and social life. And I will do karma as if I am performing that task with my utmost ability and as a play and as a fun. So every time you go to a class, every time you go to the office, every time you talk to, every time you go to the kitchen, it is playing your role well. And the third hidden practice is known as emotional culture. I have to redirect all our emotions to my true nature so that the mind will be charged with emotion. I will keep that intense aspiration. First, that emotion goes to the true nature. What is there? Peace and happiness. And then let me allow the peace and happiness to be expressed in relationship with everyone outside. What is going to happen? You are going to drop all the wrong notion. The mind remains very clear. The mind has stopped wandering. It has dissolved and destroyed the wrong notions about others, about yourself. These are the 3 hidden practices. Then what are those 9 practices, out of which we have taken 2? Last time, Viveka. Viveka means discernment. My mind, it is in the knowledge. What is real, what is unreal? What is real? Does someone appreciate me? Is it real or unreal? Does someone abuse me? Is it real or unreal? Ask yourself. Both are unreal. With one I am attached, I get an appreciation. With one I am detached, I don't like it, I hate it. It is still unreal. Can I maintain that state of calm? This is one example of Viveka. Viveka has to be applied 24/7 in our life. It has to be a knowledge practice. The second, because the moment you apply Viveka, you say, no, I have a habit and I have a craving. I'm attached to a lot of things. I cannot do without coffee or tea. If that viveka is there in the mind, there is a natural detachment. There is a natural dropping of these craving, obsession, attachment and detachment, likes and dislikes. This is a natural, perfectly natural. That is the second practice. So the moment there is a detachment, there are no thoughts. The mind is not at all wandering. You are ready to treat the path of meditation. The third, I will talk a little and then we will do the practice. The third factor, which has 6 knowledge practices, more or less the knowledge practices. It demands a clarity and understanding. So in the journey of this Eastern wisdom, we say they are the inner wealth. We have the outer wealth, where you keep your diamond ring, Lara. You keep it in a safe. You don't have it, okay? No, but don't tell me, even if you have it, so don't worry. You keep it in your safe. Any treasure. Maybe papers of the property. That is more than a diamond. You keep it in a safe. So that is the outer wealth. How much you are earning, and we are not ready to tell because we want to keep it to ourselves. Outer wealth. Beauty, physical beauty. So what about the inner wealth? The inner wealth, once you awaken to these inner wealth, and the more you live into that, it increases manyfold. There are 6 inner wealth. I'll just tell you the names and then we will talk in detail, and so that we can succeed in mindfulness. The first wealth is known as sama. Sama means shanti. Shanti means my mind is 100% available to me, not to any wrong notion and thought, not to any person whom I hate, whom I dislike. Because when the mind dislikes a person, the mind is continuously thinking about that person. Do you see that? Do you understand that? So first is sama. The mind is 100% available to me. It is also known as inner calmness. It is also known as peace. Am I talking, thinking, working, acting in peace? Even if I have to speak loudly, even if I have to shout, inner wealth supports that. Second is known as Dhamma. What is Dhamma? That I have unbiased observation of the people, objects, things outside in the world. I see David, I like him. I see Lara, oh no, I don't like that girl too much. So you see the mind. Again, the sense organ, sense organ goes to the different objects. My mind is not creating any likes and dislikes in the world. It works, it talks, sama. Dhamma, sama and Dhamma. The third is known as uparati. Uparati means, can I see beyond my sense organs? Here is a David, for example. Here is a Sangeeta and Lara. I'm watching all of them. Can I see beyond? We all are human beings. We all are seekers of peace and happiness. Maybe one expresses, one in search of the peace and expresses in anger. Still he is in search of the peace. Can I take that perception all the time? Why the mind will wander? Fourth treasure. Fourth treasure is known as titiksha. Titiksha means what? What is the meaning of titiksha? The literal meaning of the titista, the mind is running here and there. No, I'm fully busy. That's why the mind is running here and there. Can I bring the mind to task? Come on. What do you want? Why you are running? So this is a kind of taking over consciously. The mind that is crazy, the mind that is obsessed, the mind that has a state of forgetfulness. One person last week said, no, I will listen to you talk. I am very deeply interested. Then, no, I have to go to somewhere with my honey. So let us fix it next week. So this week came. He wrote it back again. I am deeply interested, but still I cannot do this week. I said, I'm very good. I'm fine. That's okay. Titiksha, the fourth treasure, and the fifth is known as the faith. What is faith? Faith, belief pending inquiry. What is the belief? When I say peace is my essential nature, belief pending inquiry. I have to inquire to see if the peace is my essential nature or not. So I don't keep the experience of the stress, duality, anxiety, fear in my head. I keep the principle of peace is my essential nature. Let me inquire, let me do the practice, and let me discover it. And the sixth is known as, I give you a brief, the solution. It is known as samadhanam. Samadhanam comes from the word samadhi. Where is samadhanam? Samadhanam, literally, it means solution. So there comes a big problem outside in the world. Take it as an opportunity. When the opportunity comes, grab it, work on it, perform your role well, finish it, remain detached. So when you live in these, when you have those six inner wealth, inner treasure, it can work in your business, it can work in your family life, it can work in your relationship, everywhere. So now what are the secondary practices? We make the secondary practices as primary practices. What are the secondary practices? Asana, pranayama, mudra, mantra. You see that I have seen a lot of people habitually, even if I don't say that you have to sit, come on, sit cross-legged, and they are ready for the mudra. It is a habitual. It will not work. They are the secondary practices. You can use them if you have some challenges. You don't use them, it will work. You sit cross-legged, meditation will succeed. You sit in Padmasana, meditation will succeed if you have those hidden practices, if you have those six inner treasures, if you have all the 9 practices with you, if the mind is 100% available. So we pay more attention to asana, pranayama, mudra, mantra. What else? No, we have to do after all asana. That is the first ladder. So come on, how long you have been doing asana? For the last 20 years. So when you will start meditating? No, still I'm continuing with that. You see that these are the secondary practices clearly understood by these masters. What is the goal of the hidden practices? To remove your wrong notion. The mind becomes clear. So the wrong notion, what happened? You have a single thought about the wrong. Single thought which is a wrong notion, it is a wrong thought. You get repeated, you repeat, your mind repeats, it becomes a thick thought, and then it becomes very difficult to remove that. I gave one lesson today to New Jerseyans. So, a wonderful lady. Boredom, how can I solve the problem of boredom? and she has a wrong notion because I'm lonely at my home, that causes the boredom. Now she doesn't want to drop this thought. It has become so thick. So last week, I eased out a little. I could see that. You see that wrong notion. So these wrong notion and thoughts are removed by regular listening and learning, contemplation, and applying that in karma yoga. I told you have to play your role very well. You are before your husband, play a role of your wife. If you are before a teacher, play a role of a student. If you are at a workplace, if you are a boss, play a role, perform your role very well as a boss. You are in the kitchen, play a role of being a right cook. It will help you raise your awareness. It will help you remove the wrong notion. So that also is included in the and I told you about the emotional culture. Then we will do, what is that? Only one principle. And that opposes a modern view. I'm after all helping you. I'm a teacher. I'm helping you to meditate. This is one of the greatest wrong notion. I don't keep that wrong notion with me. So how it should be replaced? You are thinking, doing anything only for yourself. Keep that in mind. Because I enjoyed speaking, I have learned this from my master. So I'm doing it for myself. So the emotional culture will happen naturally. You go to the kitchen. Do you want a cup of tea, honey? Yes, I want. But do it yourself, because you are enjoying to prepare a cup of tea, not only for yourself, but for others also. So enjoy that. Put all your emotions into that. Now, I always daily in the morning, I have been giving you a cup of tea. You see that how much I love you. Wrong notion. Wrong notion. No, you can express it, it's okay if someone appreciates you. But can we start living into that state that I do anything because I enjoy it? And because I enjoy it, so I'm doing it for myself. In a week, your mind will change. I can bet you, if you follow these 3 hidden practices, you will say, the moment I say close your eyes, the mind is ready for going into a deeper meditation journey. You don't go and pick up a newspaper to read what is the news today. The news in the newspaper pertains to the past, yesterday. I have to live here and now. Here and now. So we will understand gradually, we'll pick up all these 9 practices, how they help in meditation. So let us start our journey of meditation. The stage 1. Prepare and show the mind the inner resources. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Position of the body is the first step in the stage 1, and the mind facing within. So the mind is naturally looking within. When that will happen? When you follow all the 3 hidden practices. I'm enjoying giving you a lesson. Simple. So what will happen when I enjoy? I put my 100% that you must succeed today. Can you do that? When the mind is facing inside the head or inside the heart, just naturally looking inside. What will happen? Because the mind is not going into the body because of lot of thoughts or memories. So what will happen to the body? You experience the steadiness in the body. How simple it is. But that becomes simple only when you are a qualified seeker. That is what we discussed today. Then we recheck it in the stage 1. Look at the neck joint. Feel the presence. Experience sensation, being comfortable in steadiness. What should I do if the thought makes me crazy? No. What is the answer? It's a wrong notion. You make the thought crazy because you like it, because you enjoy it, so you have a craving, so you have an obsession. And what you learned? In a talk today, if the mind is facing inside to the real self, in waiting, there is a natural state of being comfortable. Shoulder joints being there, feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body, from the top of the head to the toes, looking inside all the joints. You pick up. You see the second principle, Karma Yoga. Perform your step well. Leave the rest. So the mind moves to all the joints, neck joints, shoulder joints, knees, elbows, fingers. And the moment the mind moves there consciously, you experience sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. So you see that being comfortable, being a qualified seeker makes the step simple, easy, enjoying. We'll work on that in our following sessions. Now being carefree. Where I explain being carefree. Standing across a road watching the traffic. Or I may say, are you watching film on the television? Yes. The television screen remains the same and the movie continues, it finishes. So if I identify myself with the TV screen, let the movie go on. Let the movie in the life go on. Means what? The mental traffic, thoughts, feelings, sensation. This is nothing more than a movie. You are different from a movie. So these 3 steps in the stage 1. Even intellectually we understand. What we understand should be realized by regular practice. But no, I want to keep the mind in the same state. So the second stage is to purify the mind and to move the mind within so that it is naturally looking for the true nature. So in the stage 2, we purify the mind and we'll continue with that 2 steps and we will add 1 more. So first step, looking deep inside the forehead in the space. Are you looking? Very good. So what should you do? Look deep inside the forehead in the space and start with short and the quick breath from the chest through both the nostrils. This is an action. So you are playing with the breath. and stop it. If deep inside your mind was thinking, oh, this is too much, what should I do? When should I stop? Can you see the wrong notion? Can you see the impurity in the mind that resists and reacts? We have to get rid of it. We simply did it for 2 minutes. Not a big deal. And now we just oppose this breathing rhythm. Start breathing deep, silent and slow. First into the belly, then into the rib cage. While breathing out, you first exhale from the belly and the chest. You sink. Have body, breath, mind. That's what sometimes I say, the deep, silent, slow breath is a kind of sinking of body, breath, brain, mind. So all the four are actively participating. And you can also add emotion. If you are a qualified seeker, you will enjoy. So you are inhaling without making a noise. You inhale for a longer period. That is what it means by a deeper breath. And you don't make a noise. That means you are breathing slowly. How can you breathe slowly, deeply, and silently if the mind is not aware? How can you breathe deep, silent, and slow if the brain does not participate in the entire process? How you can breathe deep, silent, and slow if you do not notice the expansion and the contraction of the belly, expansion and the contraction of the rib cage? So it's a kind of sinking. So introduce that principle that you are synchronizing. You are bringing a synergy of the body, breath, brain, and mind. That is what the three hidden practices are. And that is what the 9 knowledge practice will enter into your life. We are in the stage 2, purification of the mind. But we are referencing our practices to those principles. Continue. Deep, silent. Now remember, the inhalation should remain as such. So the third step in the stage 2, the inhalation should remain as it is. Exhalation, we should introduce the humming sound, louder, deeper, and longer with every exhalation. Continue. The moment you start inhaling, remember that synergy. If you forget that synergy, it means what? The mind is not 100% available to you. See that. Those inner treasures are always at work when we know it. In any meditation, mindfulness journey, continue humming sound. That is why the Buddha, in the Eightfold Noble Path, the first 6 paths are preparing you. You may say they belongs to 4 connections, 9 practices. He did not talk about asanas, he did not talk about pranayama, But are we qualified to treat the Eightfold Noble Path? That is what we are doing. Continue humming sound. It is in the stage 2. Long, deep, silent, slow inhalation and stop this humming sound. We are moving into the stage 3. When we purify the mind, do we really experience something deeper? Let us see. Look at the head and the neck. Be there, feel, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right arm. We are into the stage 3. If we are experiencing deeper, the mind is dropping that kind of an attachment, so we have less frequency of thoughts. And right arm, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Left arm, mind moves on the left arm. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look at the chest and the belly. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look at the right leg. Now looking is so easy, carefree, with a clarity, and that leaves you with a deeper experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. Be there. Feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toes. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. There is another step in Tantra, so I'm adding that in the stage 3 to deepen the experience, which is known as Nyasa. So I'm introducing Nyasa at a very surface level, but it has a deeper experience. You move the mind on the right arm slowly, with a little deeper breath. On the right arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips. You're not examining, you're just moving casually. The breath is little deep, not very deep, and move the mind from the fingers of the right arm to the shoulder. When you breathe out, when you breathe in, moving from the shoulder to the fingers. Casually, as if you don't want to do anything, you're strolling. The mind is strolling. Pay attention. Mind is playing. And the same thing on the left arm. You are playing, performing, strolling. So the moment the breath goes in, the mind moves from the left shoulder to the fingertips. And when the breath returns, the mind moves from the fingertips to the shoulder. You will experience freezing, tingling sensation, an instant vision of colors. What happens? Let it happen. We'll understand what happens and why later. You have tingling, numbness, instant freezing. The body also sometimes you feel it becomes so heavy. Feels heavy. Weight remains the same. The mind moves from the right side of the waist to the right toes when the breath is going in. On the skin of the body. The mind is walking on the skin of the right foot. And when the breath comes out, the mind moves from the toes of the right foot to the right side of the waist. Just playing. Don't be so serious inside. We're asking the mind, can you start playing? Already given you a clue. Which principle I apply here? And now moving the mind on the left foot in the same way. Moving the mind from the left side of the waist to the toes when the breath is going in. But the mind is walking on the skin. And when it walks on the skin, how unusual sensation. The mind may experience as if your body has become very big, small, heavy. Those experiences may come, or you may remain in that state of calmness, peace, and silence. We'll understand those experiences in the following sessions. Mind moving on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes, as if the mind is walking on the skin, with a little deeper, slow breath, no noise. And when you exhale, the mind moves from the toes to the top of the head. And leave this step also. We go into the last step, the state of awareness, three-pointed awareness of the breath. The breath is going in and out, you know it. You feel the sensation of the breath going in and out, and you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You're almost in a state of doing nothing, but it is what we normally say the breath mindfulness. That always happens once we are into the state of Deeper sensation, relaxation, stillness, mind living within, and from within, you know the breath is going in and out. You know, and you focus. There's a big difference. When you focus, the mind is divided, reactive, resisting. When you know the breath is going in and out, I know it. You feel the sensation and no change. And do nothing, remain as you are. The mind with its past impression, waiting to hear do nothing, and it moves the body. You have done something. You started thinking of your future. I said do nothing. Remain in that state of doing nothing. What will naturally happen? The mind will enjoy moving on the state of sensation, relaxation, stillness. Will enjoy the breath mindfulness. Will enjoy looking into deep inside. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We do this chanting that helps the mind to go very deep inside, deepens the experience of a meditative state, and we return in a specific way. The mind goes to the right hand. Become aware, feel the sensation. We do not put nowadays on eyes due to coronavirus, and move the mind on the left palm. Feel the sensation. Wait and open your eyes slowly to share your experiences. That helps each one of us to progress deeper. So, how are you, David?
Very, very good, Mr. Girish. Sorry, a little technical difficulty there. Very, very good. It was, I'm finding my ability to get in my forehead and get into this clear space, pure space is really becoming easier. And it's just like the only word I could describe it is like a big fluffy cloud when I'm in there. I am seeing colors. I'm seeing 2 colors today, which was interesting. When I get into that space, but it's very, very peaceful. Experienced nothing like it before.
Wonderful. You see, Jerry and Lara, you have been practicing yoga for so many years. And now David is progressing. So anyone can reach to a higher state. It's not that you have to pass K-12, then undergrad, and then grad, and then... No. Commitment, clarity. How are you, Lara? No, I was just kidding. You go, both are good, Lara and Jerry.
I'm laughing, Girish, because I'm thinking you have to put your foot behind your head before you can have any inner peace. No. I'm just joking. I am actually also finding the practice so much easier and being able to get to that place where I can tune in quicker and notice when I get out easier and be able to bring it back. And it's also interesting to watch it transform in life. I had a really big challenge that I was dealing with the other day, and I had a little bit of a breakdown. Emotionally, I went and took a shower, and I realized, what is this about? And was able to come back into it and make a new commitment and was like, I'm going to approach this challenge differently.
Wonderful.
And so this practice has helped me do that, to be able to stop, take a break, and let's go in and look at this differently.
Don't break yourself down. Break the stress down.
For me, it's an old habit. It was an old habit that's something that, and it's not something I deal with all the time. So it just kind of is in the background. And then when it comes up, the same reactions happen. And I have recommitted myself not to do it that way anymore.
Wonderful. So, that's really a sign of progress.
Yeah, it was big. It's been a big breakthrough this week, and I feel lighter because of it.
You see, a lot of things, principles, regular practice, and all these helps.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था, एकदम शांत है और अभी भी वैसी ही स्थिति बनी हुई है.
Wonderful. She is still living into the same state even after opening the eyes. She has been practicing for many, many years, and recently she has become... I don't see you, Jerry.
Hello. I'm not able to turn my camera on or my volume for some reason. So I can see everybody, but I can't turn my camera or my volume on.
Okay, no issue, but we can hear you. Yes,
David turned his on. The practice was wonderful. I'm finding it quick to go in and kind of I think I've said before, like a cleansing, but it's really a soothing. It's kind of this, it's very soothing practice, the whole practice. And then during the inhaling and exhaling down the limbs and staying on one limb at a time, I found that I was feeling a little bit of coolness or coldness in the fingertips.
That's wonderful.
And like Lara said, I've noticed, because like this morning I had a lot of technical difficulty, but I'm not really, I wasn't letting it affect me. I don't feel affected by it. It's like, okay, well, I'll figure it out, or I won't figure it out, but I'm not going to get upset about it.
Wonderful. That is the way the meditation should bring about a change in our thinking, in our behavior, in our actions, and in the perception of an event.
Right.
That is what Lara and Jerry, you both told. Oh, you had a perception of an event before, it was stressful. Now, not affected. Maybe higher stage, oh, I play. Let me perform my role. Who cares? And you are living your life. Enjoy. So that is another sign of the